Hello everyone and welcome to the Daily Morning Podcast. So let's see how the market have closed in on Friday's trade. The benchmark indices has remained slightly negative during the session. Nifty declined by 1.2%, closing at 22,023, while Sensex declined by 4.5%, closing in at 72,643. Nifty Mid Cap 100 declined by 0.4%, while Nifty Small Cap 100 gained 0.4%. Now let's look at sector-wise performance in NSE. BSE Telecom has gained by 1.04%, BSE FMCG has gained by 0.02%, BSE Realty has declined by 0.08%, BSE Tech has declined by 0.1%, BSE Consumer Durable has declined by 0.2%, BSE Banking has declined by 0.5%, BSE IT has declined by 0.5%, BSE Metal has declined by 0.6%, BSE Power has declined by 0.7%, BSE Healthcare has declined by 0.8%. Now let's look at the market breadth of BSE. The number of stocks that have advances are 1725, while the number of stocks that have declined are 2106. Now let's look at the stocks that have scaled 52-week high and low. The 52-week high stocks are Kolpal, Bharti Airtel, Intellect Design and Metal Forging, while 52-week stocks are IFL, Infobeam, Tech, Hind Zinc, VIP Industries, ZEAL. Now let's look at the fund flow side. The FII were net sellers to the tune of 682 crore, while DII were net buyers to the tune of 848 crores. Now let's look at the US benchmark Qs. Benchmark US indices remain slightly negative, with Dow declining by 0.4%, Nasdaq declining by 0.9%, S&P declining by 0.6%. The market awaits the US Fed meeting amid the recent inflation data. With missed global cues, we expect a weak start, but there could be a lot of stock-specific action. Let's look at stock-specific news. The government has approved 17% overall hike in wages for more than 1.1 lakh employees of the insurance giant. This remained neutral for the stock. ITC, the company entered into share purchase agreement with its arm Russell Credit to acquire 45% stake in International Travel House. This remains neutral to positive for the stock. Asset management company. Mutual funds are reported that they stay stressed on Friday following the market regulatory concern about fourth in the mid-cap and small-cap space. This remains neutral for the stock. Gujarat Gas. The company has invited expression of interest from ceramic customer for the purchase of natural gas. This remains neutral for the stock. HL. The company has signed a contract worth of 2,890 crore with Ministry of Defence for midlife upgrade of 25 Dornier aircraft along with the associated equipment for Indian Navy. This remains positive for the stock. Jindal Stainless. The company supplied stainless steel for India first underwater metro line in Kolkata. This landmark project is worth 4,965 crore. This remains positive for the stock. Rail Vikas Nigam. The company has received a LOA of 339 crore from Maharashtra Metro Rail for design and construction of the Pune Metro Rail project. This remains positive for the stock. Punjab National Bank. The bank has approved raising of equity capital to the tune of 7,500 crore through QIP. This remains positive for the stock. Brigade Enterprise. The company announced launch of Buzzwork in Bengaluru. Buzzwork introduces flexible and managed workspace solution to cater to the evolving need of modern businesses. This remains positive for the stock. Hoodco. The company is considering raising of 40,000 crores in bonds and debentures on March 20. This remains neutral to positive for the stock. Aditya Birla Fashion. The company received no objection observation from NSE and BSE for merger of its TCNS clothing. This remains neutral for the stock. Crompton Grips. The company received a patent for linear node tubular lighting system for 20 years. This remains positive for the stock. The US FDA inspected the company's manufacturing facility in Aurangabad from March 6 to 15 and closed the issuance of Form 483 with one observation. This remains positive for the stock. SGVN. The company received a letter of intent from Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam for 200 megawatt solar project. This remains positive for the stock. Railtel Corp. The company received an order worth of 130 crore from Bihar Education Project Council. This remained positive for the stock. Anup Engineering. The company entered into a pact to acquire 100% stake in Mabel Engineering. This remains neutral to positive for the stock. Neo Energy. The company unit JSW Neo Energy received a LOA from Solar Energy Corp for an additional capacity of 500 megawatt of wind capacity. This remains positive for the stock. Ircon International. The company received a LOA for construction of a twin tube unidirectional tunnel in Mizoram. This remains positive for the stock. GTPL Hathway. The company completed acquisition of Metrocast Network India, increasing its holding to 50% from 34%. This remained neutral for the stock. Amber Enterprise. The company announced incorporation of its wholly owned subsidiary at Railway Subsystem to specialize in manufacturing railway components and subsystem from rolling stock industry in India and overseas. This remained positive for the stock. KSB. The company received a LOA of 63 crore for a contract of 2500 solar power system under PM Kusum 3 scheme. This remains neutral to positive for the stock. Vinati Organics. The finance minister imposed anti-dumping duty on the import of para-tertiary butyl phenyl. This is a raw material in the making of printing ink, coating resin, wood laminate resin, wire enamels for 5 years. This remains positive for the stock. Let's look at few block deals. Daimler Power and Urban Infra. FE Advisor bought 1.57 crore shares amounting to 2.6% stake at 42.6 per share, while Sasra Advisor sold 94.27 lakh shares amounting to 1.5 stake at 42.65 per share. Setu Securities also sold 35.7 lakh shares amounting to 0.5% stake 42.42 per share. Voltime Transformer. Norges Bank bought 0.77 lakh shares amounting to 0.7% stake at rupees 8,201 rupees. CMS Infosystem. Norges Bank bought 21.8 lakh shares amounting to 1.3% stake at 386 per share, while USB Principal Capital Asia sold 11.5 lakh shares amounting to 0.7% stake for rupees 385 per share. Dish TV India. Setu Securities bought 1.17 crore shares amounting to 0.6% stake at rupees 17 per share. Electro-Steel Cast. Norges Bank bought 41.5 lakh shares amounting to 0.6% stake at rupees 155 per share. Gokul Das Export. Norges Bank bought 3.47 lakh shares amounting to 0.5% for 733, while UBS Principal Capital Asia sold 3.9 lakh shares amounting to 0.6% stake for rupees 730 per share. Copran. Quant Mutual Fund in Quant Small Cap Fund bought 2.5 lakh shares amounting to 0.5% stake for 255 per share. South Indian Bank. Norges Bank bought 1.57 crore shares amounting to 0.7% stake at 29 per share. Finance. UBS Principal Capital Asia sold 6.6 lakh shares amounting to 0.5% stake for 3,797 per share. Vanguard Emerging Market bought 8.85 lakh shares amounting to 0.7% stake for rupees 3,796 per share. And Vanguard Total International Stock Index Fund bought 9.12 lakh shares amounting to 0.8% stake for 3,796 per share. Now let's look at few insider trades. Man Industries promoter Finance bought 17,000 shares on March 12. Man Infra Construction promoter Mansi P. Shah bought 2 lakh shares on March 14. Gokul Agro Resources promoter Ritika Infracon bought 1.72 lakh shares on March 14. Star Cement promoter Prem Kumar Bhajanka bought 2.6 lakh shares on March 12. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.